Welcome back. Okay, when it comes to getting your kids ready for college, Amy and I know what this is like. I'll tell you. One of the things that is difficult to deal with is all the forms that you have to fill out and all the testing that needs to happen, right? With the ACT
what
test.
What a beating, yes.
And SAT.
Yes, it's a lot to take on, a lot to worry about. But thank goodness we have you here today to help us sort this out, make things clearer.
Glad to
Marie
be back.
Bigham. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, fill us in, especially for the new parents that are just kind of getting into this, mainly parents of juniors. Would that be right?
Absolutely. I think for parents of juniors, what you want to be considering right now is which test, SAT or ACT, is better for your student. Every college in the United States, Canada, Europe, take both at the same weight. They are better for some students than others. So I think right now you want to find the right test and then figure out prep.
This is a really good point that you bring up, because when my kids were doing this, we were led to believe that some schools preferred one test over the other.
Right.
And so to know now very clearly that they consider them equally, that it's really more about how your child tests. And that's a big deal, because kids don't learn the same way, they don't test the same way.
Absolutely. And you know, the SAT and ACT are very different in how they test. The ACT tends to focus on material that a student might learn in the classroom as a high school junior. The SAT is great for a student who likes to solve problems and who likes strategy. The SAT tries to trick you. The ACT wants to know what you learned. They're just different.
Okay.
Now, what about the kids that don't test well? Because that's one of my children. Also, I have a lot of friends whose kids don't test well. And that's the main concern, especially going into this whole project.
I think the first thing to know about that is that standardized testing is not the most important part of the college admissions process.
Okay.
Standardized testing is a part of it, but the high school transcript, what a student did every day in school, the grades they earned, the courses they chose, and their trend in grades is more important than standardized testing.
And what about community service and all the other extra
All
things?
of
That's
those
all
other
important,
pieces play a role.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The testing tells a college what a student is like in the context of national and international, but it's not the most important thing.
Sorry,
And
that's my phone buzzing on the table. I just threw it down on the ground.
And there are over 800 colleges in this country that are test optional. There's a great website called fairtest.org that will tell you those schools, and they are great schools.
Okay,
great
that's
schools.
good to know.
Yeah.
What about prepping for this test? I kind of wish, now that I've had my first oldest child go through this, I kind of wish we had put him in some kind of testing or some sort of course to prep him better, because he did take it multiple times.
I do think that test prep is important, but it's also, it's not something I love, because it's just more time away from more important things, and it's expensive. But there are lots of ways a student can prep, and it depends on who they are as a student. If your student is very individual and self-driven and motivated and also has some schedule issues, you can go online. There are phone apps that are really great. You can get a book.
We just bought the
There are
kids'
lots of
books,
options,
and they just did it
and
that
those
way.
work really great. There are classes, there's individual tutoring, but I think you should know your student and how they learn best and how they absorb information best.
What are these phone apps? Do you know them real quick off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I would really check out the collegeboard.com, and they have an app that has a good test program. And a lot of the test prep companies like Kaplan and Princeton Review will have phone apps.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah, and they can take the test as many times as they want, right?
You can, but I tend
It's
to
expensive.
think it's
It adds up,
expensive,
'cause it costs
and it's
to take
also
it.
it's a time. It takes time away from more important things, right? I find, at least at my school, that students do very well if they test once in the spring of junior year, once in the fall of senior year, and for most kids, that's enough. I don't want this to be anyone's new favorite extracurricular activity.
Right, and they'll take the best score out of each of them.
You know, it will depend on the college, but for the most part, colleges want to use standardized testing in a way that helps the student. So some will do what's called super scoring. They take your best section regardless of the date.
Math or reading.
Absolutely. And some will take your highest. So
great.
for the most part, colleges want to look at testing in a way that is supportive to the student.
Okay.
Well, that is good to know.
Well,
It's not as ugly as you think, I promise.
It is a stressful thing, and as I know, it's just so much that you have to, you know, prep your kids for and spend money on, and they're nervous. And then for my child, he took it the first time, he did pretty well. Second time, he wanted to improve his score, he went down 90 points. So my kids love it that I share all their information.
Talk about the fair that's coming up.
Oh, so excited about this. This coming Monday at the Irving Convention Center, we are having the 4th annual Dallas-Fort Worth National College Fair.
Okay.
It's from 4 to 8. Parking is free. We will have 320 colleges from around the world attend.
Yeah,
Additionally, we're going to have information sessions about getting into college, test prep. We're especially We'd love to have returned veterans come because the post 9/11 GI Bill is so outstanding. So we're going to have special sessions for those folks who want to have that opportunity to pay for college.
Oh, wow.
Lots of great information there.
Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
Really appreciate that. And when we come back, it's a different spin on Valentine's Day that includes spending time with your gal friends. Michaels has his creative take when we come back. Good. You guys are always so good.